Hello trainers, Kaneto here, and today we're diving together into Great League after a long time. We had Master League for 2 weeks, Ultra League for another 2, and we haven't seen Great League since the start of the season, so I'm pretty excited to showcase my top 4 team recommendations today for the start of Great League. So let's start off with the first one, with the Stunfisk up on the lead on its Galarian form, followed up by Noctowl and of course Sableye. Sableye is one of the best safe switches out there. No wonder as to why we're seeing it on the first team showcase here. Is an absolute monster even against some of its counters. Let's say something like an Azumarill for example, you can still go toe to toe against that Pokemon with your return, so that's why it is gonna be one of the best safe switches on the game. And yes trainers, I have said it, you need return. Just be sure that you are gonna have your purified version of Sableye. Otherwise, if you want to use a powered gem one, well, I recommend using a Shadow Sableye, because that way you're gonna be able to provide even more coverage to your team with your amazing attack stat that you're gonna have from that Shadow bonus, and Sableye will get a very nice benefit out of that. You definitely need an Excel version, but if you do not have, well, you can still play with the regular one and you are not gonna miss a lot. You're gonna miss some matchups, but not a lot. Still, Sableye with 100% IV is still meta relevant for the meta of Great League. At the back we also have Noctowl, which is gonna be an amazing beast, a flying beast if you want to call it that way, because it is gonna be able to get to those moves fairly fast with a new update to wing attack, Shadow Ball also for the coverage, and Sky Attack is gonna be your main way to go. So Noctowl a very good closer, and that's why I picked it for this team. Leader of this line of course Stunfisk, and you can see now the synergy between the picks. We have a backline that can protect the Stunfisk from those fighters, and you have to sometimes aggressively switch in there your Sableye just to draw out something like a Bastiodon your opponent might have, so that you can have a much easier closing scenario with your Noctowl. The core breaker of this line though is not going to be Bastiodon, but instead Walrein, because Walrein can go toe to toe with Stunfisk, can also go pretty well with those Icicle Spears back to back against that Sableye, and of course the Icicle Spears can also shred apart the Noctowl. But as you can see, it is more like of a neutral core breaker, and other than Walrein, you are not gonna find yourself any other critical matchup that you're gonna struggle with. So I would not be that much worried about Walrein, because you still have some really nice options against that Pokemon even at the worst case scenario. Into the next one, and we're having the Registeel up on the lead, followed up by Pelipper and Trevenant. So Trevenant, you have already seen it from other Great League rotations. Also you have seen it on Ultra League, pretty much an all-around beast for almost the whole Go Battle League. Only in Master League it doesn't have any play, but other than that, even on the special cups it has a lot of play. This Pokemon is pretty amazing. You need the standard moveset, you need Shadow Ball, Seed Bomb and Shadow Claw, and you're gonna get there fairly fast while still pressuring a lot with your fast attack, able to get there to the Shadow Ball to threat even your worst counters, let's say something like a Talonflame or a Charizard, or the Seed Bomb to destroy down that Swampert that can be a threat to your Registeel. Speaking of threats of Pokemon like Swampert, you're gonna see that the backline here can protect Registeel a lot from that Swampert and other Mad Boys threat, because not only we got Revenant, but also we have Pelipper, which can come really clutch as a safe switch. What I like about this Pokemon is that it can go in as a safe pick and definitely get the advantage towards your enemy, especially if they have something like a Stunfisk. You can still go ahead and pressure a lot with those Weather Balls, while Hurricane is going to be used for coverage. Hurricane is going to connect for massive damage against a lot of Pokemon. Let's say something like an Azumarill for example, you're going to go straight Hurricane and this is going to hurt them a lot, while Pelipper will have only one natural counter, one natural threat, and that is going to be the electric Pokemon. And of course Lantern, which is meta, might be kind of problematic, but still you can see that the other two Pokemon can still protect the Pelipper from the Lantern. So here is the synergy. The backline protects the Registeel from the fighters, the other two Pokemon protect the Pelipper from the Lantern, and you're gonna see that in no time you're gonna make quick work of your enemies. As a core breaker here, I decided to pick the Scrafty only because of its unique typing being part dark and part fighting in combination with those counters and the power up punches, because upon the lead, if you happen to encounter a Pokemon like this, you can still have a win condition against it with your Focus Blast, but still it is gonna hurt a lot, and of course at the back it carries the move Foul Play, so that can threat that Trevenant for massive damage, especially after the power-ups. Against Pelipper though, it is gonna struggle a lot, and you're gonna see that even the Seed Bombs can still threat it, so Scraft is gonna be yet another soft core breaker for this line, so I would not be that much worried about that Pokemon. And of course about Registeel, that I forgot to talk about, you need Zap Cannon Focus Blast. Other than that, you're gonna be just fine, and of course you're gonna have a great time with this team in Great League. Now for the next team, we got kind of a weird team, but it is gonna work a lot. We got 3 Metamons on the face of Medicham, Bastiodon and Walrein. You can see as to how the backline can protect Medicham from the flyers, and of course Medicham can protect the backline from those steel types. So what I like about the safe switch of this team, the Walrein, is it can go in pretty nicely done even against its counters, so you can use your Walrein to draw out something like a fighter your opponent has, so that you can go with either back-to-back Icicle Spears or the Earthquake against certain threats, something like a Steel type for example, to destroy it down, or just draw a shield and then your Medicham can go in, start doing some solid work against it, and you're gonna have a much better sweeping scenario with your Bastiodon, because Bastiodon will have a lot of weaknesses on the meta, but still it will be able to wall down a lot of things on Great League, and that's why it is gonna be called the wall face of Great League. There is a reason behind anything on Go Battle League. So core breaker of this line, of course, it's not gonna be the Trevenant, but instead the Runerigus, because of its ground typing. As a ghost, it can simply destroy down that matchup with Medicham, has a very solid matchup with the ground typing against Bastiodon, resisting the smackdowns, while in return can debuff it a lot with those Phantoms, which back to back can be problematic, but of course against Walrein can be kinda of a solid matchup, because the Icicle Spears are still gonna be able to connect for super effective damage. You're gonna see that this team in no time is gonna take quick work of your enemy. It applies a lot on the fast attack pressure, especially from the Medicham and the smackdowns of Bastiodon, and you got some really nice nukes like the Stone Edge, the Psychic, the Earthquake to cover a lot of things in the meta when shields are down. We're gonna end this video with the final team showcase here with the core of Skarmory and Swampert. Those two Pokemon since Season 1 have been one of the best ones that you can use for Go Battle League. So we're gonna pair it with that Shadow Drapion, if you have a Shadow of course. If you don't, just a regular one will be fine, and you're gonna see that in no time we're looking at a pretty safe and all around team with no weakness at all. As a core breaker here, I got the Bastiodon because it can work pretty well of course against any flyer, hence that Skarmory, and can go toe to toe, and perhaps even better than that, leg to toe with that Drapion matchup. But of course Swampert absolutely is raking apart that Bastiodon. So we're looking at the team relying a lot on synergy. Do not be afraid to rotate to your Shadow Drapion, you're gonna do that a lot actually, and I recommend the moveset of Aqua Tail and Crunch, because Sludge Bomb is not gonna help you much, while Aqua Tail can be used like a cheap way to draw some shields, or just do some really nice lethal and close damage to that enemy that cannot be farmed down with those poison stings. You're gonna see that in no time this team is gonna take the shields, and of course you are not gonna spend a lot of shields on your Pokemon other than Swampert, because Swampert needs the shields in order to sweep the entire thing for the end game. I would recommend using the Skarmory up in front, safe switching to your Drapion, draw whatever they have at the back out in play, finish it off with those two Pokemon, and then keep your shields for the end game for Swampert having the upper hand even against some of its counters. Let's say something like a Noctowl for example, you can still destroy it down with a double Hydro Cannon if you're gonna be a Shadow Swampert. If you have a regular one, well, you're gonna sacrifice that attack stat for the defensive, but still I think that the Shadow Swampert is gonna perform slightly better here, just a little bit better than the regular one. So that's all trainers, thank you for watching, thank you for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and I hope to see you all into the next one. Take care trainers.